Hello and welcome to Back to the Port. I'm the Galloping Major and this is a Tier 6 premium review of the Nelson British battleship. This is a game of domination on straight. From the shipping forecast, I guess Atlanta could be annoying, could burn us to death. Nagato, Nelson and Colorado all come with 16-inch guns. At the moment I've got AP loaded. And I've pushed over to the right flank from the centre for the purpose that we only had one battleship over here. Now HMS Nelson comes with AP and HE for her 9 barrels of 16-inch gun, but British HE and British AP. British AP has a shorter fuse time and a larger bursting charge, which means against cruisers it's quite effective, whereas against battleships it bounces off the belt armour, the side armour. So normally when you're aiming at battleships you want to aim for the deck level with the intention of punching through the deck armour, which is always thinner. Regarding HE, Nelson has a 46% chance of setting a fire and can turn out quite a lot of HE damage. Now, oh, there's the York. Let's see if we can finish her off. And we'll load up some HE after that. Nope. Oh, well. Anyway, so with my Nelson, I've gone for aiming mods because it just gives a general little buff everywhere else. I didn't want to increase the rate of increase the time it takes to reload because it's already a 30-second reload normally. You could go for a secondary build, but being that most of the secondaries are those rear turrets, they only fire AP, which will bounce off of cruisers and battleships at close range. Now, as for a commander, I'm using Jellicoe. I've got him equipped up for ramming speed or just ramming damage and stuff like that. I've also got him kitted up for, ooh, this could be a nasty run area. I've also got him kitted up for speed, concealment, turning, additional consumable, hence I've managed to get 3 repair parties rather than 2 that it normally comes with. Let's see how this British HE turns out. There you go, 2 fires. Yes, so where was I? Jellicoe. So, repair parties. Ooh, Nagato's gone, nasty. Destroy on the left. So, and then as inspirations, I've gone for Madden for turret traverse speed and decreased reload time, and then I've gone for Kondo for concealment. So I've gone for like a stealthy, speedy build. Now Nelson is a 1920s British battleship built under the Washington Naval Treaty following the First World War in order to stop the next naval arms race, which had led to the First World War. The big nations entered what was called the Washington Naval Treaty, which limited the size of guns, the overall displacement of ships, and the main parts of the treaty was regulating battleships. But after the First World War, America had built the 2 Colorados and Japanese had built 2 Nagatos, and Britain had no 16-inch battleships, so it was agreed that Britain was allowed to build 2 16-inch gun battleships, but they had to conform with the limitations of the Washington Naval Treaty. So this explains why Nelson has this funny arrangement. By having the 3 main turrets up front, the length of the citadel was as short as it possibly could be, and therefore would reduce the overall displacement. Another thing they did was they went for what was called an all or nothing armour scheme, where she's basically covered in mostly light plating and the only heavy armour is actually on her citadel. But this unfortunately means that anything coming in from you directly from the front, directly from the rear, or directly from either side is basically going to be, well, it should be treated like as being shot on your broadside, and has got a good chance of hitting your citadel. Your citadel is quite long. It runs from your front turret to your rearmost secondary turret, and it's basically flat-ended. And with your bow and stern armour only being 25mm thick, it's quite easy to punch through it. So with Nelson, what you want to do is you want to angle your side armour, or as much as you possibly can. Just switch into AP. I mean, the Atlanta's quite a light cruiser. The HE should do a good chunk of damage there. So when you're usually fighting the battleship, you want to be at like this angle, sometimes turn it in a bit more when it's firing. You don't want to be nose on. You go nose on, you're just going to get citadeled. Which also means that Nelson's quite a difficult ship when it comes to breaking off an engagement, because you can't really turn. I mean, it's always a bad thing with most battleships trying to turn out of an engagement, but Nelson it seems just as much, because you can be hit from so many angles with your thin nose armour. I don't think this game's going to have much left in it. I mean, I'm going to have to go around the top of the island. No way am I going to turn in there, even with my rudder increases. Oh yes, so I've gone for the aiming mods. I've also gone for steering gears, and then you have to get the RGA, range guaranteed acquisition mod. Steering gears just because I want that rudder to engage pretty quickly, so I can get this to turn quite sharply. She's already got quite a sharp turning circle, so I want to take advantage of that as much as possible, especially trying to play angles. It's quite a quiet game. It looks like we committed quite heavily on the right, and the enemy seems to just generally do a bit of an even spread. We've lost our left flank, hence we're heading over there. They've got 2 battleships left, the 2 Bayerns, the 2 tier 5 battleships. Well, I might as well tell you about the Nelson's heel. The Nelson's heel, it's basically her only special ability. She doesn't come with a spotter plane or sonar or anything like that. So with her heel, you get 2 heels base, and you can increase this to 3 if you use Fraser Jellicoe. You can increase it to 4 if you use Madden, but you're going to have to get Madden all the way up to level 16. Now, the benefit of this heal is it heals 1000 HP per second for 20 seconds, which means you can heal about 20,000 HP, which is about 40% of your total HP. Now that's a nice little ability. So with British battleships, well, most battleships, you should never put your first fire out. You should only ever use your damage con if you've got... I still don't use it when I've got 2 fires. 3 fires, I start to think about it. The reason being is I'd rather burn and have it ready if there's a torpedo. I mean, if you can guarantee there's no torpedoes in the water, like right now with these 2 Bayerns, I know there's going to be no torpedoes in the water. Let's have a look at the end screen. I mean, I'm not expecting the greatest game there. Okay, 2nd place. Well, I guess it does happen. Miracles do happen. Then Nelson seems to do quite good, but I didn't see much of him. I mean, all I saw the Nagato, I saw the Icarus, I saw the York, which was all their lowest scoring players. Oh well, that was a little review of the Nelson. This is the Galloping Major, and thank you for watching Back to the Port. Until next time, keep shipping.